be exposed to an enormous risk that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac pose to the housing market, the overall financial system, and the economy as a whole. The statements by this politician ends by saying, I urge my colleagues to support swift action on the GSE reform legislation. Now, that sounds like news that's taken place today. But in fact, that is what took place on the Senate floor in the year 2005. And the man who spoke those words that I just read to you was John McCain. John McCain dealt with Fannie Mac, or Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. He dealt with them in 2005, warning of an economic collapse if something was not done to stop them from doing what they was doing, and as it says, creating their profit growth as an illusion. Mr. McCain warned, and Mr. McCain co-sponsored the bill that I just read to you and spoke those words on the Senate floor in 2005. At the end of that day, every Republican on the committee voted for this bill. Every Democrat on the committee voted against it. Barack Obama and the rest of them stood silent. Now, how Mr. Obama can come out and say John McCain is to blame when John McCain was a co-sponsor of the bill that I just told you, where he mentioned Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac by name and urged his colleagues to support the action they was drafting immediately. And they didn't do it. And Barack Obama was a senator when John McCain did this. Now, let's go on. The Wall Street Journal deals also with this. In 2005, Senate Banking Committee, then under Republican control, adopted a strong reform bill introduced by Republican Senators Elizabeth Dole, John Sununu, and Chuck Hagel, and supported then the chairman, and was supported by the chairman, Richard Shelby. The bill prohibited the GSEs from holding portfolios and gave their regulatory prudential authority, such as setting capital requirements. In other words, once again, this goes to show that in 2004 and 2005, the Republicans were, in fact, dealing with this issue of this economic meltdown that we're suffering right now. And while Barack Obama was present in the Senate, did nothing whatsoever, nor even lifted his voice concerning this matter. Did Mr. Obama have the right to come out the day we heard Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had faltered and began to point fingers at John McCain? Certainly he did not. Here's a chart that shows the number 1 and number 2 recipients of Fannie Mae as far as campaign contributions goes from 1989 to the year 2008. Now listen, these large corporations finances Republicans and Democrats. There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody may send me money. I'll certainly use the money for the television. But if I find out you're pushing dope or getting the money selling dope and all that, I won't take your money. Period. I don't care if you send $10 million. I'll send it back to you. Now, back in 1999, 98, 2000, somewhere thereabout, when we was on TV going through a very critical time, in fact, it was about to have to go off the air. I asked for support, for help. And a man sent $1,200 and a letter that was scolding me. In that critical time, I put the $1,200 back in the envelope and sent it back to him and told him till he could send it in the right spirit, don't send it at all. I ain't never been a money whore. The point is these people support both candidates. That's just the way that it is. But the number 1 and number 2 supporters are recipients of money from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac was number 1, Chris Dodd, a Democrat, $133,900. But he's been in office for about 28 years. So I broke it down according to those lines, and Chris Dodd, receiving $133,000 almost $134,000 from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac contributions, equaled out to about $4,782 a year. The number 2 man of a recipient from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you guessed it, Barack Obama, $105,849, and the man's only been in office 3 years. I broke that down, and that comes to $35,283 a year since Barack Obama has been in office. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, $35,000 a year for Barack Obama. Now look at this. Every Republican voted for a bill against them, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, to regulate them. 2005, every Democrat in 2005 voted against the bill. Who is this man? This is Mr. Raines. Mr. Raines was the Freddie Mae CEO, the head of it, from 1999 to 2004. Mr. Raines earned $90 million in 5 years